You're watching KGBT, Harlingen, McAllen, Brownsville. Team 4 News Weekend Edition begins right now.
Harlingen fire officials believe this fire was no accident. And take a look at this pileup. Over 100 cars crashed in Germany. Plus, do you think you're pretty creative? Teenagers in Japan prove they are. Their story a little later. Good evening, Valley. I'm Elizabeth Covarrubias. Thanks for joining Team 4 News Weekend Edition. Our top story this evening, a convenience store clerk is injured after an armed robber assaults him. Uncle Joe's Barbecue and Drive-Thru is located in North Elsa. Police say the robber struggled with the clerk, finally hitting him over the head with a steel pipe.
The clerk indicated that the suspect had been in the store about an hour prior to the robbery. So his information is going to be very vital.
The clerk was transported to a local hospital. Police say the suspect fled on foot. Edcouch Elsa Police and La Villa Police are searching for him. Another armed robbery, this one in McAllen. Police are looking for a 95 Forest Green Mustang. Authorities say 2 Hispanic males pulled into the Applebee's on North 10th and robbed a woman of her purse at gunpoint. The driver of the car is described as Hispanic, dark-complected, with a shaved head and a thin mustache. If you have any information on this robbery, please call McAllen Crime Stoppers at 687-TIPS. Fire officials in Harlingen believe last night's warehouse fire in the north part of town was intentionally started by vandals. Now they are looking for clues in what's left of the building. Accident or arson? That's what Harlingen fire officials are investigating today after a warehouse goes up in flames.
We believe that somebody broke into this building and intentionally set this fire.
This is not the first time officers have responded to this location.
We've had problems with this building before.
The building is called the Bargain Barn, and it was used to store antiques, appliances, and even vehicles. The 40 by 421 square foot building was engulfed by 7 o'clock last night. Finally, at 3 a.m., the fire was under control. But even today, firefighters are working the hot spots. Garcia says this is one of the biggest fires his department has worked in a while. And last night's winds did not help.
We were concerned about the smoke that was being emitted. There were some tires inside this property, but no, there were no other damage there. Some of the electric poles are going to be replaced by Magic Valley, but that was about the only thing that we have at this point.
The owner of the warehouse has come forward. Garcia says they will be questioning him as help into their investigation. Another fire, this one in Brownsville. 10 acres of land were burned to a crisp. Authorities believe the fire was started by fireworks. Extra units were called to the scene because several homes were in danger. However, no one was evacuated. Officials are asking anyone popping fireworks to be careful. This is only one example of what can happen. A tragic New Year celebration strikes too close to home for a Mid-Valley family. A stray bullet shot up in the air to ring in the new year finds an unsuspecting victim. Team 4's Roy Cantu has the story.
28-year-old Norma Ramirez is living the new millennium with a bullet in her head.
It's in the back part in her left, right behind her ear.
Her sister Minerva Ramos says Norma was hit by someone's stray bullet ringing in the new year.
10 minutes into the new year, and we could hear the firecrackers all over, and we were doing just our own little family thing together. And my sister started screaming that she had something in her head.
Norma's brother-in-law, Robert Ramos, says they rushed her to the hospital where an x-ray showed a 9mm bullet lodged inside her head.
She's an extremely lucky person, that she's able to even walk a little bit. She's talking, but she's in a lot of pain.
The family's backyard is stuck in time. Strands of lights celebrating the new year, unused fireworks, and the spot where Norma was hit remained the same.
It's not important to go out there and shoot. What for? The year's going to get here anyway. The next day is going to get here. And, bring it in with hugs, not with things like that.
The Ramirez and Ramos families hope people who pull out their guns to celebrate learn from their tragedy, because bullets don't have names and end up hurting someone's loved one. Roy Cantu, Team 4 News.
Norma Ramirez was released from the hospital. She's waiting for her swelling to go down before doctors decide to remove the bullet or leave it in its place. The Ramirez has reported the incident to the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Department, but no one has been charged. And topping our news for Texas, 5 teens are dead after their truck flips in Fort Worth. Authorities say a red Ford pickup carrying the 5 teens was going at an excessive speed when it crossed over the highway median and flipped several times, causing it to crash into a green Chevrolet pickup. The teens were pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the green pickup was airlifted to the hospital and is listed in serious condition. And so far, the Texas Department of Public Safety reports that 18 people have died on Texas roadways this holiday weekend. 3 of those deaths happened here in the Valley. They will have a final count tomorrow. Well, get ready, Texas. There's a new smoking law out, and it could change your eating habits. Gerard Ramal has more on this new no smoking law.
Well, Arlington already has the law. Fort Worth restaurant owners certainly saw it coming, but do they like it? Not exactly. Bottom line, if they chose not to install the new equipment, it could, for some, hurt their business considerably.
This is one of the filters that we put in.
Jim Eichelberg just got his new electronic air filters installed this week. After spending nearly $3,000, now his customers get to enjoy smoke-free air.
And we decided we had to put one in. I mean, to stay in business, really.
The choice for Jim wasn't a difficult one. He says it was either chalk it up now or lose valuable customers later on.
And hopefully it'll pass. We haven't really had people out here yet, but I'm pretty sure it will.
The griddle in Fort Worth has been open since 1954. Joe says he doesn't remember anyone ever complaining about the smoke. If people wanted a smoke-free atmosphere, they would usually just go someplace else. As of only 2 weeks ago, about 44% of restaurants in Fort Worth hadn't decided which way they will go. No doubt inspectors will be out checking. Violators will either be fined or shut down. Gerard Ramal, CBS 11, Fort Worth.
Well, today was windy and warm here in the Valley. How long can we expect this weather to stick around? Let's turn to Chad Sadwell in the Weather Lab for the latest. Chad?
Well, Liz, you hit the nail right on the head. Windy and warm. We'll touch on the windy part of the day in just a little bit, but first, let's look at the almanac. Our normal high this time of year, 70 degrees, and I tell you what, 13 degrees above normal was our high temperature today, topping out at 83 degrees. Our morning low started out right at our normal high, 69 was our morning low. Let's check out our weather watchers. Juan Lopez up north of Rio Grande City topped out at 90 degrees today, and Harry Wagner in Port Mansfield checked in at 84. We'll check out all the details of the forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Chad. Meanwhile, topping our news for the world, 2 are dead and 73 are hurt after more than 100 cars collide in Germany. It happened on the world-famous Autobahn. The first vehicles crashed in the northbound lane because of heavy fog visibility. That led to a 50-car pileup. Then officials say rubbernecking on the southbound lanes caused 60 cars to collide. Damage is estimated at well over $1 million. 29 are dead after a passenger bus goes off the side of a mountain. Police in Peru are blaming excessive speed and mountain road conditions. The bus was traveling from the central jungle town of San Francisco when it lost control on a winding mountain road. It plunged nearly 500 feet before landing on another road below. Only 7 people survived the crash. Well, 2000 is here and the world didn't end. Now folks are finding that returning all those unneeded supplies could be harder than you think, especially if you're trying to return a generator. Some businesses are charging a restocking fee for those items regarded as Y2K purchases.
Coming up on Team 4 News.
When we return, how to help your small child if they're choking in tonight's Team 4 Health. And take a look at Super Doppler radar, pretty clear skies. Stay with us. You're watching Team 4 News Weekend Edition.
Attention all Rio Grande Valley residents, you have just 2 days to clear it all out with zero interest for 1 full year.
It's last January clearance sale with $5 million in extra savings. Save 25 to 65% now. Plus, get zero interest financing for 1 full year. Save 25 to 65% on everything for your home. It's last January clearance sale. Hurry if you want zero interest for 1 year.
You only have 2 days to clear it all out.
The GMC Convoy 2000 is here. Trucks with capabilities that will change the way you look at the road. Professional-grade pickups, SUVs, and family vans. Designed better than they need to be. Like the 2000 GMC Sierra Extended Cab with the most powerful standard V8 in its class. Get up to $1,587 average finance savings with 3.9% APR on select 2000 Sierra models. GMC. Do one thing, do it well.
If you have comments on any of the stories you've seen in this newscast, we want to hear from you. Call our Team 4 Listens line at 440-1752. Or you can go online and send us an email at listens@team4news.com.
Ham, cheese, a piece of bologna, pepper and jelly, mustard, tomato, celery, with peanut butter on both sides, and pineapple jelly. Turkey with mayonnaise. Yuck. I just want to eat the bread.
Next time you're building a sandwich, use what the experts use.
Mrs. Baird's. Mrs. Baird. Mrs. Baird's. I love Mrs. Baird's. Bread.
It's the best of the Martin Short Show with guest host Ed Grimley. Don't miss celebrity interviews with Jiminy Glick, highlights from Herbert Hoover High, and more. Next Martin Short Show.
Martin Short, Monday at 9 on Team 4 KGBT CBS.
Small children love to put things in their mouth. If you have one, you already know that. But that habit could lead to choking. How do you know if needs medical attention after swallowing something? In tonight's Team 4 Health Report, Dr. Deanna Lights gives us some advice on keeping your kids safe.
All too often, kids swallow things they shouldn't, things they think are toys that end up in their mouths.
It's more common in less than 1 year of age. At the same time, that's when they are at risk of getting food, those little objects stuck somewhere.
We've all heard the saying, going down the wrong pipe, but do you know what it means?
When food goes down the wrong way, that's when people cough and choke. And it can be quite scary and even life-threatening for children.
Swallowed objects can only go one of 3 places.
One is up here in the division between the windpipe and the swallowing tube. The second one is where the lungs divide into left and right. It can cause an impression in the swallowing tube and food can get stuck there. The most common one causing that is coins.
Anything caught in the windpipe must come out immediately. You should be able to tell just by looking at your child if he needs to be rushed to the doctor.
If it's in the swallowing tube, he will complain of difficulty swallowing or pain or discomfort. Something stuck in there. If it's in the windpipe, the eyes are wide open, difficulty breathing, that becomes a serious emergency.
If your child is acting normal, whatever he swallowed will probably pass right through his system by itself, and there's really nothing to worry about.
They usually come out within days, but it's actually okay to see it there for 4 to 6 weeks.
Dr. Deanna Lights for CBS News.
Well, this is something these new parents will soon have to worry about. This set of Texas twins were born this weekend as most of us were ringing in the new year. Tanisha Thornton arrived into 1999 just 13 minutes before her sister Tashia did. Tashia was born in the first minute of 2000 at Arlington Memorial Hospital. Their mother says she was surprised by the timing. All are said to be in great condition. The new Millennium celebrations have wiped out the Valley's blood supply. These are the refrigerators at the United Blood Service in McAllen. They're empty at a time when blood demand is high. Blood bank officials say they're hoping people remember to come in and give the gift of life as their New Year's resolution.
Blood that's donated here stays here. We're just trying to take care of our own needs right now. We've been trying to get blood from outside our area to help us out. And they're telling us it's just not available. Other areas are struggling too, so it's not just the Valley.
The blood bank needs every kind of blood type, especially O negative. Surgeries have been postponed because of the shortage. When we come back, Chad Stanwell will have a look at our work week forecast. Stay with us.
Janos, the only name you need to know for appliances, bedding, and big screens. Janos Superstore's extremely high-volume sales of Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and GE Home appliances, Simmons Beauty Rest mattresses, and RCA Electronics means we buy for less, so you buy for less every day. Janos, the Valley's #1 name for super savings on a super selection of your favorite name brand appliances, bedding, and big screens. Janos Superstores, 3 super locations, Harlingen, Weslaco, and Raymondville. It's time you see why everyone's buying appliances, bedding, and big screens at Janos.
2000's here, and your Texas Ford dealers are kicking off the new millennium with a 21st century celebration. It's your chance to start 2000 off right with incredible deals on the best-selling cars in Texas. During Century Celebration, get into a hip new 2000 Ford Focus for just $219 a month. That's right, the all-new Ford Focus is just $219 a month. For the best deals around, get to the 21st Century Celebration now through January 16th at your Texas Ford dealer.
Looking at the marine forecast, a small craft advisory in effect again tonight and early tomorrow. South winds at 20 to 25 knots. Choppy to rough seas, 6 to 8 feet. And looking at the Falcon Lake levels, down again today to 265.94. Can we expect the same breezy conditions tomorrow? Stick around. We'll answer that question next.
Don't miss Chief Meteorologist Brian Hale's forecast daily in the Valley Morning Star and the Brownsville Herald.
It's a new year of Hollywood Squares.
The name for the Lilith Fair comes from Hebrew folklore, which claims that Lilith was the first wife of who?
Ellen DeGeneres.
What's funny? This week, don't miss The View's Joy Behar.
Barbara, can you believe it? I'm on Hollywood Squares.
Riley Cutters, Tia Carrere, and Jags Catherine Bell. Only on the next Hollywood Squares.
Monday at 4:30 on Team 4.
Individually, they are standouts in their respective classes. Collectively, they paint a portrait of daring and innovation. Traits that lead to an SUV called Dodge Durango. Right now, $345 a month puts you in a two-wheel drive sport utility that's perfectly positioned between the toys and the tanks. If you're ready to move in a different direction, get to the Dodge year-end event today.
We're tracking the weather with live Super Doppler. Now from the 4-1 Weather Lab, here's meteorologist Chad Stanwell.
Well, if you were outside today, you noticed that it indeed was a very windy day all across the valley. We've got some pictures to show you exactly how windy it was from the upper valley today. Let's check it out. Look at the palm trees, the flags out, all the way straight out there. A very breezy day all across the valley. And unfortunately, I think it may be a little bit windy again tomorrow, but definitely not like what we saw today. These, as a matter of fact, are some of the peak gusts we saw around the valley today. Check out McAllen, 39 mile an hour was the peak wind, 44 in Harlingen. Brownsville, our peak wind this afternoon, 51 miles an hour. Well, as we look at our current temperatures outside, a little bit balmy out there, 70 degrees. We've got a few clouds, 87% relative humidity, and our south winds continue pretty strong, 20 miles an hour right now. Temperatures also 70 degrees in McAllen, 69 in Rio Grande City, upper 80s to low 90s in Starr County today, 71 Brownsville, and 72 on South Padre Island. Our nowcast tonight shows you we're going to cool down into the low or upper 60s, so just a degree or two by midnight, down to 65 waking up tomorrow morning, and then up to 73 by noontime. Our cold front, we do have a cold front on its way towards the valley, going to bring some cooler temperatures, but not until probably tomorrow afternoon. 42 the current reading in Amarillo, 48 in Lubbock, 61 in San Antonio, also 71 as we said in Brownsville. Satellite picture shows some clouds moving off towards the east. This isn't the cold front. The cold front back here just now entering the panhandle portion of Texas. It's been through El Paso, but it is going to continue working its way towards the southeast overnight tonight, and we'll be pushing through the valley, like I said, probably early afternoon tomorrow. And this is going to bring us some cooler temperatures. Today, our high temperatures were 13 degrees above normal, and I think by Tuesday and into Wednesday, we'll actually see our temperatures dip down to below normal. Forewarned Futurecast overnight tonight into Monday and early Tuesday shows that front pushing on through the valley. Back behind it, high pressure, so we will see a few clouds, but generally I think mostly clear skies. to just a few clouds, but our temperatures not going to be all that bad. Let's check out your forecast for the rest of tonight. Partly cloudy and muggy, a bit breezy, 62 out west to 68 on South Padre Island. And then on Monday, partly to mostly sunny and breezy, 78 out west to 75 on South Padre Island before the front comes through. Once it comes through, our temperatures will slowly begin to fall. Here's a look at the next 7 days. Doesn't look all that bad. Our chance of rain could come by Friday. We've got another cold front headed towards the valley, but it looks like it could still be a little bit breezy throughout the course of the week. That is a look at your 4-1 forecast.
Next up on Team 4 News.
Do you want to save money on your electricity bill? Learn how in tonight's Smart Woman Report. We'll be right back.
When you're out in the valley and you see news happen, call #04 on your Sprint PCS phone and be a part of the Team 4 News phone force. It's a free call.
2000's here, and your Texas Ford dealers are kicking off the new millennium with a 21st century celebration. It's your chance to start 2000 off right with incredible deals on the best-selling trucks in the Lone Star State. Right now, get a brand new 2000 Ford F-150 for just $219 a month. That's $219 a month for the best-selling truck 22 years running. For the best deals around, get to the 21st century celebration now through January 16th at your Texas Ford dealer.
When people come on wheel, they sort of lose control. I mean, sometimes they really get carried away.
Sometimes you get carried away, too.
You never know what'll happen when people start spinning out of control.
But that's what everyone loves about wheel.
Easy for you to say.
Wheel of Fortune. Give it a spin.
Wheel of Fortune, weeknights at 6:30 on Team 4 KGBT CBS.
The luxury sport utility according to Lincoln. Lincoln Navigator. The performance car according to Lincoln. The all-new Lincoln LS. Motor Trend Car of the Year. Luxury is being refined and redefined. Now at your Lincoln dealer.
We're sisters. Super Center. It's the best place to be. Walmart Super Center is the best place to shop if you want to get everything. They have fresh produce, fresh meat. Those look good. Diabette's blueberry muffins. Clothes. Pizza. CDs. You can't do that anywhere else. You can only do it at the Super Center. And I know I can find the low prices here. And my husband does call me the Walmart queen. He opens up the checkbook and there's Walmart, every single entry. It is true. I can come here, get everything I need, and then get back home to my family. It's just one-stop shopping, and you're finished.
We love it. If paying half of what you pay for your electric and water bills sounds too good to be true, this next story is for you. Energy-efficient homes are being built across the U.S. In today's Smart Woman Report, Jenny Davis shows us what makes these homes different and how some things you can do in your home to save money.
Imagine the energy bills in this house. No worry, this is an Energy Star home, a government standard meaning it's 30% more energy efficient than other homes.
They would not think that there's anything different or anything special about the home.
John and Lori Zemlo's family lives here. Their new home is twice the size of their last home, but their energy bills are half as much. So what makes a difference?
Well, most of my friends think this is my pantry. However, it's this little monster in here.
By having their heating and cooling system in their home, experts say it runs more efficiently, saving them money.
No, it's pretty.
Arlene Zavicki Stewart helps consumers understand energy-efficient homes.
In the last 10 years, we've seen a lot of new technologies.
Arlene says if you're going to replace your appliances, one way to save money is to look for this little Energy Star sticker.
What's nice is that any manufacturer can produce an Energy Star product.
Another idea, change your light bulbs. A typical light bulb costs about 50 cents. These energy-efficient bulbs cost $12. But when you compare the operation and replacement costs over 10 years, the cheaper light bulb costs more than twice as much in the long run. Because even little changes can help insulate you from the cost of energy. For today's Smart Woman Report, Jenny Davis, Team 4 News.
Another easy way for homeowners to find out how to make their home more energy efficient is by contacting your utility company. Any of them have energy auditors who will come to your home, often for free, to give you an idea of what you can improve, what it will cost you, and how much you'll save.
Next up on Team 4 News.
The Cowboys take a giant leap into the playoffs. We'll have more when Team 4 News Weekend Edition continues.
Once a year, we make resolutions. Some we keep, and some we don't. Now you can keep all your resolutions with the year-end minivan event at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Offering $12.50 cash allowance or 1.9% financing on new minivans. And you can get into a Plymouth Voyager with all its spacious features for only $239 a month. Get to the year-end minivan event going on now at your South Texas Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Years of technological achievements have made us what we are today. Jeep is the most award-winning brand of sport utilities of this millennium. So we're celebrating the next millennium with the Jeep Year-End Awards event, featuring a two-wheel drive Grand Cherokee Laredo for only $299 a month, with the power and comfort to drive you into the turns of the century and beyond. So get to the Jeep Year-End Awards event and see where a little recognition can take you. See your Texas Jeep dealer.
HEB medications have the same active ingredients as the national brands you know and trust, so they work just as well.
Mom.
Well, you're feeling better.
But I thought you were at work.
The only difference is the national brands cost more than HEB, a lot more.
And the winner of this year's Hamburger Vanguard Award is...
Jack, we won't make it till you order it.
Wow. You know, you dream about this, but wow. So many people to thank. Big thanks to my crew for making We Won't Make It Till You Order It such a huge success. Okay, just give me a second. To my dear wife, I love you. Thank you, Terry Graham, Bob Lacrosse, Margaret Barretto, Bill Hopkins, and the whole We Won't Make It Till You Order It team. Thanks to our guests. Back up.
Team 4 Closed Caption is brought to you by Bert Ogden, GMC Pontiac Mazda Buick, Edinburgh. Now time for Team 4 Sports, where local sports always comes first.
With enough chances to make an inmate on death row envious, the Dallas Cowboys, who got an EKG jolt from Green Bay and Carolina losing last week, needed to beat the Giants today, and they're in the playoffs. No, it's not rocket science. It's just that Troy Aikman and the Cowboys have been playing like Jerry Lewis and the Nutty Professor. But the Cowboys had the chemistry working today on the opening kickoff is when it began to mix. Jason Tucker had a 98-yard kickoff return called back last week. Was up for redemption today. He's got one man to beat. Check this out. He gets the face mask. They get the flag. He goes down at the 10-yard line. Fortunately, the Cowboys had to settle for a field goal, but what a return. Yeah, I know, leading 6-0, Emmitt Smith. 26 yards last time against the Giants. Today, he busted loose for 122 yards. A shoestring tackle saved the touchdown, but what a run by Smith. Cowboys were denied their first two times in the red zone. Not this time. Aikman to the Rocket Ismail. 13-0 Dallas. Aikman had a huge day, throwing for 288 yards, and most of it went to Tucker as he turns a routine slant play for a first down into a 90-yard touchdown run. Cowboys go on to win the game 26-18, and in doing so, spit out that bad taste from the last 2 weeks.
We didn't play great, but we played well. And if you get all phases playing well, you're normally going to win a football game.
When we made mistakes in the past, or last week or 2 weeks ago, we weren't able to overcome them. Today, we was able to overcome them. Here it is, 1st and 15.
What a run by Tucker. And with Tampa Bay and Minnesota winning, that means the Cowboys will go into the playoffs as the 5th seed and will pay a visit to the Metrodome to start the playoffs. Now, the last time the Cowboys were at the Metrodome, they lost 27-17 to the Vikings. The game is set for 3 o'clock next Saturday. You know, if you're Minnesota, you lick your chops like a bear waiting for the salmon to swim upstream. It's been that easy for the Vikings in the last 2 meetings with Dallas. The weather is pretty cold outside the Metrodome, but the Vikings heated up against Detroit, tied at 10. Not anymore Jeff George to Randy Moss, and just like that, the Vikings had the lead. Let's see what he can do against Deion Sanders next week. 17-10 Minnesota. Fourth quarter, Vikings still up by a touchdown. Not anymore Leroy Horde. puts the game away for good, 24-17, Minnesota. The Chiefs' playoff hopes were on the line against Oakland, which is just fine with the Raiders, who are licking their chops for the chance to knock off the Chiefs. Third quarter, Raiders up 28-24. The Elvis Skurback, with plenty of time, hits Joe Horn. Touchdown, 31-28, Chiefs lead. But don't dance. Don't dance. Don't do it. 50 seconds left. Chiefs up by 3. Joe Nedney ties the game with a 38-yarder. But Kansas City marched down the field, and Pete Stoyanovich had a chance to win it. Oh, my goodness. Wide left. Yep, and that's where the Raiders would stick in the dagger. He's sticking it in right there, because Nedney with 33-yarder, right down the middle, right down the heart of Kansas City, spoiling the Chiefs' playoffs hopes. 41-38, Oakland. With only one loss, they fumbled to Texas. Number 3, Nebraska, despite their sweet tooth, had to settle for a Tostito Crunch instead of a sugar snack. A win over Tennessee, who has 2 losses, would certainly ease their pain of not being in the championship game. First quarter, 7-0 Nebraska. Volunteers with their backs to the wall. They punt to Bobby Newcomb. And look at Bobby Newcomb. This guy used to be the quarterback. And look at him go. Not bad. He'll go in for the touchdown. It was that kind of first half for Nebraska. But Tennessee rallied back with 2 straight touchdowns in the third quarter. Travis Henry scores, but it was all Nebraska. 31-21. They take the Fiesta Bowl. It's like looking outside the window and staring at a snow blizzard and saying to yourself, I've got to drive in that. The Bronx waiting to go back on the road and face their 62-game losing streak. With 3 wins in 4 games at home, the UTPA Bronx should have the confidence to face the road blues. But before they can walk out the house and hit the road, they first have to beat Rice, which would mean avenging a 40-point loss from last season.
Revenge is there because that was the first game of the season. We had a lot of freshmen last year who had the jitters, playing in the game. But, for some of the guys who came back and who played them last year, revenge is probably definitely a sweet thing right now.
They've struggled some games right now, but they're a quality team out of the Western Athletic Conference, so we're going to have to be ready to play. And I think our guys will be up to the challenges.
Turning to the final round of the Williams World Challenge, where play was stopped for a while because of hail in the desert. Chad, that was not in your forecast. Tiger Woods and Sergio Garcia saying, hey, let's build a snowman, Tiger. On 18, Phil Mickelson's ball stuck to the green. Look at this. He's chipping on the green, makes a birdie. What a shot. When the ice melted, Tom Lehman began to heat up. He birdied 5 of the last 6 holes he parred here, shooting a 67 to win by 3 strokes over David Duval.
I cannot believe that the Cowboys are in the playoffs.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? Keep your fingers crossed. They should have a good game against Minnesota. They match up well.
Okay, thanks. We'll be right back.
What's that, boy? Cellular. Take me there. Ma'am. Why settle for cellular when you can get a phone with the Sprint PCS wireless web? You can also get the free and clear plan with calls for as little as a dime anytime from anywhere in their nationwide network.
Who are you?
It's not about me, ma'am. It's about making things right. It always has been.
The Lincoln Great American Luxury Event is taking shape now at your Lincoln dealers with great year-end incentives on the uncompromised Lincoln Town Car. Imitated but never equaled. Lease one now.